Something strange is happening in the AI world, and almost no one is talking about it. Every day, you hear the same debate. ChatGPT versus Gemini, OpenAI versus Google. Who's winning? Who's smarter? Who's faster? But while the spotlight stays there, a different kind of power is rising. Quietly, strategically, almost invisibly. And it's coming from a company called Anthropic. Their weapon? Claude code. Not loud, not viral, but extremely dangerous to the competition. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this quiet tool could completely reshape the AI battlefield. The AI war you're not seeing. Let's zoom out for a second. The AI race today looks like a simple competition between giants. OpenAI dominates public attention with ChatGPT. Google pushes its ecosystem forward with Gemini. To most people, that's the entire story, but it's not. Because the real battle isn't for casual users, it's for developers, the people who build apps, the people who create tools, the people who decide which AI actually gets used in the real world. And history has already proven something important. Whoever wins developers wins everything. What Claude code really is. Now here's where things start to shift. Claude code isn't just another chatbot you open in a tab. It's not designed for small talk or quick answers. It's designed to work inside your environment, inside your system, inside your files, inside your workflow. This means it can read entire code bases, understand project structure, edit files directly, suggest improvements in real time. This is not AI as a tool. This is AI as a collaborator, and that changes everything. Because instead of asking questions and waiting, developers are now building alongside AI. Why developers are quietly switching? Here's something most people don't realize. Developers don't follow hype, they follow performance. And right now, Claude is quietly outperforming in areas that actually matter. Not flashy demos, not viral tweets, but real-world tasks like debugging complex issues, understanding large-scale systems, maintaining logic across long conversations. Where many AI tools lose context, Claude keeps going. Where others simplify problems, Claude breaks them down deeply. And in coding, that difference is massive, because one small mistake in code can break everything. The context advantage. Now let's talk about the real reason Claude code is becoming dangerous. Context. Most AI tools forget things quickly. You explain your problem, then explain it again, then again, and suddenly you're wasting time. Claude changes that. It can process and remember huge amounts of information at once. Entire files, entire systems, entire workflows. That means you don't need to repeat yourself. You don't need to simplify your problem. You can just work. And for developers, that's priceless. ChatGPT, still powerful, but let's be clear. ChatGPT is still one of the most powerful tools in the world. It's fast, creative, flexible, easy to use. It dominates in writing, brainstorming, general coding, daily productivity. For millions of users, it's the go-to AI. But here's the issue. ChatGPT is a generalist. It's designed to do everything well, but not necessarily dominate one specific area. And in 2026, specialists are rising, and they're starting to outperform generalists in their own domains. Gemini, speed without depth. Now let's look at Gemini. Gemini is powerful, no doubt about it. Backed by Google, it has access to massive data, real-time information, deep integration with Google services. It shines in research summaries, speed, but there's a growing concern. When tasks become complex, Gemini sometimes struggles with deep reasoning. It follows instructions well, but doesn't always go beyond them. And in coding, following instructions isn't enough. You need to understand the problem deeply. Claude's thinking style. This is where things start to feel different. Not louder, not faster, but smarter in a very specific way. Because when you interact with Claude, something becomes clear almost immediately. It doesn't just answer, it thinks. While most AI tools are optimized for speed, Claude takes a different path. It slows down, it processes, it builds a response step by step, almost like a human carefully working through a problem. And that changes the entire experience. You'll notice it in subtle ways at first. Instead of jumping straight to a conclusion, Claude pauses, metaphorically speaking. It examines the situation, it looks at the context, and then it responds with something that feels considered. Sometimes it will even push back, not aggressively, but intelligently. It might question your assumptions. Are you sure this is the root of the problem? What if the issue is happening earlier in the system? Suggest better approaches. This method works, but here's a more efficient way. You could simplify this by restructuring the logic. Point out hidden issues. There's a potential edge case here you might be missing. This could break under certain conditions, and this is where things get interesting. Because at first, that can feel frustrating. You ask a question, and instead of giving you a quick answer, Claude slows things down. It challenges you. It adds complexity. It forces you to think deeper. But here's the twist. That's exactly the point. Because real intelligence isn't about giving you the fastest answer. It's about giving you the right answer. Even if it takes a little longer. Even if it requires more thinking. Even if it means disagreeing with you. And that's something most AI tools avoid. They're designed to be helpful, yes, but also agreeable. Smooth. Easy. Claude is different. It's designed to prioritize accuracy over agreement. Depth over speed. Reasoning over convenience. And that design choice comes directly from Anthropic. Their entire philosophy is built around creating AI that doesn't just respond, but responds responsibly. They train Claude to follow 3 core principles. Helpful, actually solve the problem, not just respond to it. Honest, acknowledge uncertainty instead of pretending to know everything. Thoughtful, consider the full context before answering. And when you combine those 3, you get something rare in AI, a system that doesn't just assist you, but it improves how you think. This becomes incredibly powerful in high-stakes environments, especially in coding. Because coding isn't just about writing lines of code, it's about understanding complex systems, anticipating problems before they happen, making decisions that won't break things later. And in those situations, a fast answer isn't enough. A good enough solution isn't enough. You need precision, you need depth, you need something that can think through consequences. That's where Claude's style starts to win. Instead of just fixing the bug, it explains why it happened. Instead of just giving a solution, it compares alternatives. Instead of just following your instructions, it evaluates whether those instructions even make sense. And that's a completely different level of interaction. It turns AI from a tool into something closer to a thinking partner. Now here's the important part. This doesn't mean Claude is perfect. It can still make mistakes. It can still misunderstand context. And sometimes it can overthink simple problems. But even with those flaws, its approach represents something bigger. A shift in how AI behaves, from passive responder to active thinker. And as AI continues to evolve, this style of interaction might become the standard. Because in the end, the most valuable AI won't be the one that talks the fastest, or the one that sounds the smartest. It will be the one that helps you make better decisions. And right now, Claude is getting dangerously close to that, the problems no one talks about. But let's not ignore reality. Claude code is not perfect. In fact, it comes with serious challenges. It can still make mistakes in complex logic. It may misinterpret edge cases. It can introduce bugs if not reviewed. Even advanced AI models today are far from flawless. And relying on them blindly, that's dangerous. So no, Claude isn't destroying everything overnight, but it's evolving in a direction that matters more. Why this matters to you? You might be thinking, I'm not a developer, why should I care? Here's why. The tools developers choose today shape the products you use tomorrow. If Claude becomes the developer favorite, it will influence apps, platforms, AI, tools, digital experiences. And without realizing it, you'll be using Claude-powered systems everywhere. So next time someone asks, which AI is better? Pause for a second. Because that's the wrong question. The real question is, which AI is quietly taking over, while no one is paying attention? And right now, that answer might just be Claude Code. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay ahead of the curve, because in the world of AI, the biggest revolutions don't make noise. They happen in silence. And by the time you hear them, they've already changed everything.